Alright, guys, so today I will be talking about how to maximize your intelligence, or at the very least, look intelligent. So this is a good one because there's a lot of things I notice about myself. Because a lot of people have put me on this pedestal as intelligent, and I don't really know how or why. But maybe in this video I'll be able to figure a couple of things out because there's some things I notice about myself. For one, when I was in elementary school, whatever, I was extremely good at spelling. I didn't have to rely on spell check like I do now, which is crazy. The fifth grade version of me, I'm not smarter than the fifth grader. The fifth grade version of me could outspell the 29-year-old bummy version of myself. So where actually am I even going with all of this? Um, I make myself look good kind of on the back end. So I've written 11 books, and if it weren't for a spell check, I would be very pathetic. My results would be very pathetic. So I rely on my tools. That's tip number one, I guess. I didn't write down the list. Uh, so you rely on tools that they help you look good. I mean, what can I say? Every time I type up my books, and also I don't want to get ahead of myself because I'm all over the place right now. Intelligence is knowing your audience. All right. So to get your point across, you don't have to use SAT words. You don't have to use college encyclopedia words or whatever. I keep things very simple. And what I wanted to say before that is when I type up my books and I check the spell check, not spell check, but the word count. It tells me what grade level my writing is for. It always falls around seventh, eighth grade, and a lot of people, on the outside looking in would laugh at that. In eighth grade? Did you graduate high school? But no, this is good because I put it in a way where most people can understand. All right, so so another tip is to find a way to simplify everything. All right, if you can explain so, if you can explain something complex to someone who is uh, doesn't have that type of background, or who may have a third grade education, then you may be on to something. And that's something that I've known about. I've learned about a lot of extremely intelligent people much more intelligent than me, is that they have a way of simplifying complex things. All right, a lot of people when they start to gain momentum, learning a lot of things, astrophysics and this and that or whatever. They want to flex on everybody, and they want to speak in such a complex way to show how smart they are and how many words they know that they end up losing people, and people end up turning that shit off. If people can't understand you, then I mean, really, how intelligent are you to them? Now they may say, "Oh, big words, intelligent," but really, they don't know they don't know the value of the words that you speak. They don't know how far along you've gone, because if you can't connect with people, then they won't try. Most people won't try to catch up. Most people won't try to pull out a dictionary as you talk. You know what I'm saying? That's just something that a lot of other people who aspire to gain knowledge and things like that, they do it on the back end. All right, and so I would have to say, if you want to maximize on your intelligence, you have to go at pretty much everything that you do as if uh, you are a novice, as if you are a newbie. All right, so like Kobe Bryant, who would he wouldn't end practice until he make 1,000 shots. You know what I'm saying? And this is after he's already made thousands of shots. Already. Millions of shots. Uh, so going at it as if as if you're a newbie, not the I know. You'd be surprised how many things I start from the basics with. Things that I pretty much think I got uh, down pat. And it's not just because I have bad memory, but I just keep researching. I'm just constantly researching every little question, every little tiny question. Because it all fits into a greater whole. It really does. Information can lie dormant for years. Then you just, and I talked about this recently. Then you happen to come across one thing that really brings you back, reminds you of a piece of information you learned years ago. You're like, hold up, here we go. All right. So then you start tying it up. It forms a bigger puzzle. All right. So that's why I'm always keeping my eyes and ears to the information. And don't see one thing a lot of people don't know. They think if you don't know something, that that acting like you do is going to make up for that, and it won't. It just won't. It's just gonna make you look foolish, and also will kind of eliminate an opportunity for you to actually learn. Also, people think, you're dumb if you don't know something. Look, it's nothing wrong with saying I don't know. In fact, that's a very intelligent thing. Uh, uh, it's a very intelligent notion that you don't know. And the more that I learn, if it would seem, the less that I actually do know. And I think it's very intelligent to come to the conclusion that you don't really know anything. In a world that's always changing, in a world where it's perception versus who knows what. Let's just say perception versus perception. That sounds good. Yeah, perception versus perception. That's what I noticed. And you can have a particular perception about the world, and you meet somebody else who has a damn near a complete opposite perception, and they'll be quick to tell you that you're wrong about the way that you see the world. And I say the only way to really see the world is with an open mind. And why I say that is because that will allow you to change as you should. That will allow you to entertain things that you didn't entertain yesterday, last year, or so. You know, because life it is about growth. It is about constantly learning things. You expedite this process by being open to being wrong, being open to being open to being shown something completely different, and at the snap of a finger, you go with that and see what that's all about. So another thing, you want to keep the cycle of intelligence going. The algorithm will expose you. All right. So if you constantly on your YouTube channel go looking for, I don't know, baseball highlights, twerking videos, I'm not picking on anybody, but the algorithm is going to keep feeding you that. I mean, it takes a level of intelligence to play baseball. In fact, that's the most complex sport in the world. I would have to say it's the most complex sport, hands down. Um, I mean, if you don't consider chess, I mean, but physical sports where you actually have to get out and be an athlete and things like that, chess. I mean, not chess. Baseball, by far takes a great level of intelligence. Watching the highlights, however, not so much. And most people who watch the highlights aren't looking to increase their skill levels. But the reason why I say this is because you go looking for these baseball highlights, basketball highlights, twerking, things of that variety, a clip from Real Housewives or whatever. Then that's what the algorithm will keep giving you. It limits you. It limits you to things of that variety. Now, and I'm only telling you this from experience. I'm not trying to build myself up. But if you go on YouTube seeking things of philosophy or how to build business credit, get to learn that language, how to. You know what I'm saying? The how-to variety. Then your algorithm will start feeding you those things. It keeps you in a cycle of acquiring information. All right, And then with the information that you acquire, you can put together your own package and then start producing works of information just like I am. You know, I always thought that I would run out of content by now, but then I realized, I don't say I always thought this, but I had thought at one point that I would run out. But what I realized is that because I keep putting so much information in my mind, I keep feeding myself so much information, it keeps it keeps bringing about more information that I had lying dormant, or because I keep applying the information that I learn, and because I keep applying the information that I learn, I'm coming up with new things to talk about. I'm experiencing new things, and I'm constantly observing, and it's really that simple. And I think one of the biggest barriers when it comes to maximizing your intelligence is the facade. Is the the facade of parading or masquerading yourself around like you're mightier than everybody else because you know a little something about something. And you'd be surprised how many people who like to parade around here like, oh, they know something because they got strong opinions and shit like that. You'd be surprised how, for lack of a better word, how fucking dumb they are. You know what I'm saying? So I never, I had my run. I had my run where I thought that I was smarter than everybody, and I got put on my ass, by life, by the real world. Because the greatest teachers are life experiences, and if that doesn't teach you any goddamn thing, then you're just bound to keep getting your ass kicked. Now imagine it's just like that. It's like a cartoon of a character who keep getting his ass beat. Say, well, you should see the other guy. Bruises all over his face. Well, I'm still pretty. I'm still cute. He's been doing crack 5 years straight. I ain't doing no crack. I'm cute. I know him. I know somebody want me. But yeah, the biggest barrier is the facade of it all. And another big barrier is because, oh, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I don't know. Figure it out. Just like everybody else has to figure it out. Everybody starts from nothing. All right. And I don't know if this is a thin line, but I do like the thought of kind of going into something as if you do know how to do it, but don't act like you know how to do it. If you know what I mean. So like, if I wanted to, since let's just talk about basketball or something. If I wanted to get better at basketball, I'm not going to be timid. Make some mistakes, throw yourself in there. Make some of the moves that you done seen. Go through the motions. So that does help. And so, like, if you wanted to learn business or whatever, you might not necessarily know the jargon right away, but if you look up what do business people do, what do business owners do, and things like that, or as CEOs, now you got a couple tips. So you say, okay, I know business owners, they wake up early, okay, they read a lot, okay, don't make excuses, all right. Less entertainment, or you put entertainment towards the end of the week, or 10-hour days, okay, or accountant, business account, LLC, so you start going through the motions until it becomes the norm for you, until that becomes your language. All right, so there's no one way to define what it means to truly be intelligent. And another thing, speak on what you know. You gotta speak on what you know. Speak on what you've been immersed in. That's probably the one thing that gives people the impression that I am intelligent, is that, well, for one, I kind of dabble in a lot of information. Always just looking for something to interest me. But when I'm pretty sure of something, then I'll speak on it. I'll speak on it with confidence. But with that same amount of confidence, I will say that I don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. I will say that I don't know if I am completely unsure. All right, I'm not going to talk to you about rocket science at all because I don't know the beginning of it. And so when I ask people to uh, give me some topics to speak on, if they give me some topics that I'm really uneducated on or unsure about, then I just will decline. Now, this doesn't mean that I couldn't do research on it, but more than not, more times than not, at this point in my life, if I don't know just if I don't know a percentage of it, not even a 1% of it, chances are I was probably never interested in the first place. You know, like people want to talk to me about, people wanted me to talk about this whole Nick Cannon thing and what he was going off about, and I don't feel like talking about that because I don't know too much about real Hebrews and real Israelites. But that's actually a topic that I may double back on. It's not of the utmost interest to me right now. I'm consumed with so many things, So maybe I'll get around to that. But right now, for me, it's mainly about philosophy, business, physical health, and that's it for real, man. I got other obligations, man. Just trying to grow as an individual and keep acquiring information as I go. And I mean, shit. With that being said, but also one more thing: your tribe. Who are you hanging around? All right. I mean, it's self-explanatory. You're not gonna get too far if you're hanging around people who aren't going anywhere, who don't want to do anything, and you're not gonna get too far if you hanging around with the average Joes, where they work jobs that they don't like and then come home and then relax and party and shit like that. Whatever. And they got the right to do that, but it will that type of lifestyle, being immersed in that, it doesn't promote growth. Now you might have growth within the company, a raise or whatever, but what is the potential for intelligence in this particular group? In any group, you always gotta ask, what's the growth? What's the potential for growth? All right, that doesn't mean you can't spend time around certain people, but you just want to make sure that you give yourself ample time to grow as an individual, as part of a team, or whatever. If that matters to you, and if you're watching this video, it does matter to you. All right, so best wishes.